over near Loyola College Prep here in Shreveport. Chris Immersion, Julia Daughtry, and our friend Eric Hoffman from the First Responder Support Team here with us this afternoon. And a lot going on right behind us over in the Nancy and Bill Broyles Gymnasium, the whole Health and Wellness Expo, which is why we're here.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, Eric is going to talk to us about the latest happenings in the First Responder Support Team. First things first, how long have you guys been in operation for?
We've been a little over a year, so we started January of last year.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're pretty new, but we hit the ground running. Yeah.
What was the light bulb that went off your head that made you want to start this adventure?
I retired from the military, and when I left, I knew I was going to miss helping people. So I got volunteered with a couple of different nonprofits and enjoyed it, but we realized there was a real need for our first responders to be loved on by our community and just make things simple and transparent. So we decided to branch out in January of 24 and go nuts and see if we could try this thing and see if there was a demand signal, and man, there was. So.
Now, first, can you kind of just talk to me about how you all came up with the name?
Yeah, I was sitting around one day and I knew I wanted to help veterans, and I started kind of thinking about my veterans and my military. But then the really idea of like the Mr. Rogers clip came together, and it was like the people that run toward a problem, the people that don't worry about what's going on, look at the people that are helping. So that little Venn diagram of service before self and sacrifice and putting your own needs second, the first responders kind of came to mind. So we're just like, well, they just need a response team for them, put the first responders first. So it's where it came from.
Now, my uncle's a veteran. He's in his late 70s. He still works out to this day, actually.
Yeah.
What kind of advice and what kind of message do you give veterans and first responders, especially when it comes to their health and wellness?
Well, obviously, your physical wellness, which we're celebrating and doing in here today, but what we really love is talking about our mental well-being and taking care of yourself. There's an old saying that says if you don't take time for the fitness, you will make time for the sickness. So we try to always tell people, like, hey, it is okay to not be okay. It's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay to get in and say, I just want to get this off my chest, or see if am I unique in this. They find out often that they're not dealing with a lot of the stresses that being a first responder has an undue amount of stress. So you got to have an outlet. You got to have that physical outlet. You got to have all those pillars of wellness, and we would love to be able to provide that mental side of things.
Now, talk to me about all of the services that First provides for for everybody.
Yeah, so it's simple. It's a really four missions. It's mental health. It is financial crisis support, because we know that when the money comes short, that lends toward your mental well-being. Yeah. We also do a referral assistance. I don't have to be an expert in everything. There's so many great nonprofits in Shreveport, Bossier City area that I will refer all day long to a trusted network. I'm not going to refer you to anybody that's not going to return a phone call or do what they say. And then the final thing is we put on a lot of events that are exclusive for our first responders to give them a chance to feel like they're loved by this community and get out and be celebrated.
Now, of course, you being in the military as well, my uncle's in the military as well. There's a lot of days you do want to talk about. There's a lot of days you don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
But how do you get that one person who's in the military who suffered, through PTSD,
Sure,
and get them to come be a part of this?
Well, it's the credibility and the authenticity of letting people know that we've all been through something. And it's always PTSD comes to mind a lot of times, but a lot of times it's also just. It's a difficult economy. It's hard to be a good mom or dad right now. Things are stressful and untimely. So what we do to make it easy is we have licensed partners. We pay for 8 mental health sessions. We keep it 100% confidential. So basically, if you don't want your boss to know what's going on, you don't want to lose your clearance, you're worried about losing a weapon or coming off the streets or the job you love, you come to us. You're just a human who needs to talk to somebody, and we will pay for that. And then hopefully, and often, it will lead back to their insurance and their provider, because they realize therapy's not really that bad, it's not that scary, and they end up going back onto their own insurance provider.
Oh,
what kind of response have you seen with Barksdale being in our backyard? What kind of response have you seen?
Yeah,
with
so
Barksdale?
a lot. So we're building the plane as we're flying. We started just barely a year ago, and this year we have already reached almost every number that we did in all of 2024. And our military and Barksdale and veterans really take up about 2/3 of the amount of care we either it's a micro grant that we send out for financial or that mental health services. We see that our military spouses, and our veterans, because we provide the care for our family as well. They're the large piece of that pie chart.
Now, you're talking about mental health. Can you kind of just talk to me about the importance of people with first responders just reaching out to get that help?
Yeah, 100%. I tell people all the time that what our first responders do is they take the abnormal and they make it normal. They do things that on a normal day, if you think of the last time that you met a cop or a firefighter or a dispatcher or an EMT or a military member, it was probably a pretty significant emotional event for you, but for them it's just a Tuesday. It's their normal day that they're pulling you out of a car, they're responding to a wreck, they're responding to maybe some blood and guts and gore, but for you, it's crazy emotional, but that gets on them as well. That is not normal. They make it seem so normal. They're so good at what they do. We just want them that when it does slow down and they realize, hey, that kind of affected me a little more than I think, but I don't want everybody around me to know. That's okay. You go to our licensed counselors. It's completely confidential. Let them know. Get that burden off. Talk about it, and then get back to work because we need you. We love you, and this community depends on you.
As you interact with different people here, what are you looking forward to the most during your interactions?
Oh, I've already been walking through the gym a couple of times and see a couple of things. That class is going on. I don't know if I'm going to kick into that Zumba class they've got going, but meeting some of the amazing partners. It's always about the community. I tell people, whether they're new military, this community has so much kinetic energy and so much passion for what you do, and they want to love on you and want to take care of you. So I just love seeing this community get out here and support.
Now, being a Mizzou football fan, how tough is that?
Yeah, I'm coming around. I'm a little bit of a homer, so I remember going to the Independence Bowl, watching the first time Mizzou was going to the SEC, and people started chanting, and I remember telling the rest of the fans, I was like, "Hey, calm down a little bit. I don't know if we're really ready for this." It was pretty funny.
Obviously, here. Why is this event so important to you for you to be a part of? When were you approached for being part of the health and wellness fair, and what's the importance for you?
Well, KSLA is a go-to for us. You guys are amazing. We love everything you do. I mean, from Sasha all the way through, you guys have been amazing to support us and get our message out there because, again, we're new. A lot of people don't know who we are and what we do and whether we're going to do what we say. I know that we've proved that and we'll continue to prove that, but I love the fact that we're talking about wellness. And we're talking about getting things right before it gets a little out of control, taking care of yourself, looking for those markers and say, hey, maybe I do need to put a little bit in, maybe my glucose a little high, maybe my blood pressure, maybe my mental state's not where I want it to be. I want to do something proactive instead of reactive. So that's what I love coming out here for.
Can you kind of just talk to me about any events that First maybe have coming up soon?
Oh, yeah. Well, we just finished a big bass fishing tournament. That was awesome. We got some military members out there for their first time ever with an experienced angler, friends for life. They had a great time. But in July 31st, we're doing First Family Fest. It is a kids event. It is a back to school. It is a chance for exclusively our first responders to come out, let their hair down, relax. They don't have to watch supportive entry. It's just us. It's all family. And we have a great time. We'll have jumpies and petting zoos and Disney princesses and all the fun things. It'll be a great time. But yeah, that'll be over in the Civic Center on July 31st.
Also, in about 10 seconds, how big of a fish did you catch that fishing tournament?
The biggest fish that was caught was a catfish that somebody that wasn't even a part of the thing reached in and noodled one. But yeah, 6.5 pounds, I think, was the winner.
Not noodling, oh my Lord. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Hey, we appreciate you so much for being part of this event. Much more coverage from our health and wellness fair here at the YMCA, located near Loyola College Prep's sports complex here in Shreveport. Got more coming up for you right here on KSLA News 12. Stay with us.